So, some things that you encounter when designing your life like this. That's what this chapter is about. Aligning different elements of your life, so to say. So, first of all, one myth to bust, so to say, is work-life balance. Work-life balance does not exist. Work-life, it's not as simple as segregating your life from your work. Work is, for most of us, a big chunk of your life. So to divide that from your other part of life is like, okay, how the hell can you save your balance with only 1.5 arm? You need both to incorporate, to become wholeness as a human being, to become fully aware of your environment, whether you are on work, internal and external environment, by the way, whether you are on work or whether you are at home playing with the kids. It is a state of being. It's not a switch you can flip on and off. Okay? It's just some hustle culture and influencer culture, as they state. I think even ChatGPT said something like that. Quite aggressive. So you have this work-life integration, and how to do that, how to combine not only these two elements, but basically all the elements of your wheel of life, so to say. So this model, where are we? Da-da-da, is by combining these different areas in your life. So for example, I have friends and family, but I also have some goals about health and vitality. So why not, if I want to do more walks in nature, why not combine that by walking in nature with friends? And why not combine it with walking in nature with friends while being with loved ones and family members, for example? So I go walking with my wife and my kids and other friends, and there I check the health and mentality. While I do that, I not only walk, I also play, and I am looking for the magic in life. So I also am retraining the thoughts and emotions compartment. So this is how I improve my my lifestyle, and this is how they all relate to each other. So I challenge you to start not thinking these as separate areas of your life, but to integrate this model as a whole. You could basically draw a heart around it, because eventually it is you becoming whole as a person. So not just a financial being, you're also perhaps a mother or a husband or whatever nouns you are giving to yourself. So how do you align? Well, some examples that I am currently working on is integrating more family, and especially more friends and family in my life, because I am quite working in lone wolf style. I really dislike that. I'm missing the high five moments, so to say. And I do get these, I got great friends online, but I do miss this physical energy, so to say. So I want to combine this more in my everyday life. Sitting behind a laptop, creating this course, having fun all by myself is cool, but it's better if shared with friends and loved ones. So this is a thing for me. This is an island that I want to tackle, where my ship is sailing to, so to say. And for this, I also set constant reminders. So physical reminders in the form of things writing on my hand or on a sticket that I place somewhere. But in general, although I have this fixed structure and all these reminders, I tend to flow and see like, hey, now I'm hitting that area, and now I'm hitting that area, and now I'm hitting that area. And I combine that with this most important task overview I showed you previously, where I at least do the most important things that I decided when I was in balance. So important to realize is that when you select goals, is that you move from a place of calmness and stillness. When you are disbalanced and you correct, you often overcorrect. So you have a disbalance towards the other direction. A good example, for example, is for me the alcohol. So when I felt like alcohol was having too much of an impact in my life, I was drinking too much alcohol. I noticed that I feel down, blah, 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 and all the limits that came, or the negative connotations that come with alcohol. I wasn't in my top performing area. I decided to overreach. Like my mind brought me to another challenge. It's all a mental game. It brings me to like, okay, 0% alcohol. I'm not drinking at all, which was overreacting to the other side. So I had to find my balance. How do you do that? Well, thought monitoring is very important. So monitor your thoughts, but skills to find your balance, to find your grounding, I would say is an entire topic on its own. I would say do these open awareness exercises. Just breathe, think of your posture, monitor your breath, and then watch these thoughts come by. If don't judge your thoughts, stay neutral. Also, out of all these thousand thoughts, recognize which are positive, which are negative, so you could mentally stamp them, so to say. Red for negative, green for positive, but search for the white ones, the neutral ones. Those bring you the balance. So chair, lamp, marker, not beautiful marker. If I said like marker, I don't have any feelings towards this marker. I don't think it's beautiful. I don't think it's ugly. So focus my thoughts towards this. This is neutral. This is grounding. If I go to this plant, I love this plant. Then I am overcorrecting. Like if I feel down, then this plant I should be near this plant because this plant is a big plus for me. So then my downness with this plant, it creates my balance. You see how this works? So when you have balance, and you know you will have balance when you're there, you feel like, just like your physical balance, you will feel when you have it, and you feel when you're disbalanced. It's the same concept applies with these other areas. You know where your disbalance is, and you know how to solve it by these small, simple steps. So practical stuffs, I hardly do phone calls. If I do phone calls, I do them while walking, preferably while walking with my son, because when my son is like very, very like all over the place, until you just put him into his car and I walk behind his car, and then he zones out and he's like, oh, watching everything. That worked when he was a baby. Now he's 2.5. It still works like a charm. So I can do calls and talk with him and combine it. So what I often do is I go for a walk for an hour or so, half an hour call, and then on the way back I tend to talk to my son, which is like a very one-sided conversation, as he never speaks back. Like, unless I bring some food, then I'm his best friend. So exercise, yes, definitely, but I also exercise outside, and I put on some music because I enjoy music and I want to incorporate more music in my life. It's an area that I neglect. So music, I need I need more music, so to say. Also become more aware during your exercises. So how does your muscle feel if you lift a dumbbell or if you do a pull-up? Hey, just become more aware. I basically try to integrate awareness in every aspect of my life. I also set my timer every 4 minutes. So that reminds me like, hey, are you aware? Hey, are you aware? Nowadays, I don't set my timer anymore, and because you are often, your default mode is becoming more and more aware mode. So are you giving your all in every word that you're telling right now? So it's a different energy, different vibe when you become more aware. However, important remark, when you do this alignment, do not multitask. Huh? But on the one hand, you said do all these things together, and on the other hand, you said multitasking. The difference is what I just told you, awareness. Do one thing with all your awareness. However, driving a car, for example, does not always require your full awareness, or walking in nature perhaps doesn't always require your full awareness. If you're not in there for the magic that nature has to offer, but if you're in there just for the exercise sake, it all depends on what your goal is. If you are in nature to get full glory of nature, then I'd suggest to not do calls during the nature walk. But if you just want to get your body moving because you need your brain grooving, then you can do a call for that matter. So find your balance, and it all depends on what's your goal there. So if you want to rejuvenate, or if you want to fill up your battery, so to say, definitely don't do multitasking and don't do anything. Just stop what you're doing and start monitoring your thoughts, your breath. Focus on your body, so to say. Scan your body. But definitely find your balance in multitasking or not. So trust me, often it's not multitasking because you are depleting your memory. So only multitask if you have a very low awareness activity running in the background. Just like breathing, just like pumping blood, it does not take much awareness to do those things automatically. So perhaps you have other things that you do automatically, like running or jogging. For me, I run in certain runs, and then I listen to a podcast. Or when I drive, I'm listening to a podcast, or when I cycle my bike. Those things. It's personal, yeah. So it's a very personal balance. For me, my balance, for example, in the 20s was all about working insanely hard. However, I want to add one thing. One thing that I myself completely ignored is find your obsession and work very, very hard. So I worked basically the blood out of my eyes for a big auditing firm, so to say. Several big auditing firms. I did some switches. However, that was not my obsession. I was not obsessed by my work. I actually disliked the work, but I loved the people in there. So then I thought like, okay, I want to do more with some of my passions. What did I like in my previous work? Well, guiding colleagues, like helping them out, structuring complex things and make them easy. Well, perhaps I also loved the teaching we did at universities. So perhaps why not teach? Then in my 30s, I started working, but I start to integrate the things that I am. um I will start to focus everything I'm obsessed about. Sorry, my phone rings. Very annoying. So work starts to feel more like play for me. And my balance now is adding more awareness in it. I was too much dominated in the fight flight mode. Now I'm adding more awareness in my actions and I am literally noticing the difference in everything I do. So I highly recommend adding awareness. If you take that back to the life's arc from Ray Dalio, which we discussed, becoming more aware of the things that you have, grateful, compassionate, all those things that later life and experience bring you, bring them to now. It's a good thing. It's a good deal. Nothing to lose there. So, whatever I will be doing in my 40s, I have no idea. But Ray Dalio has some idea about your life journey. So, check that one again. So, to conclude, align and combine your personal and professional activities. Work life balance is a hoax, it's life balance. Yeah? Don't do this. Don't rigidly compartmentalize every areas of your wheel of life, like health, happiness. Combine them. You are as whole as a person, as just as you have an arm and legs. You can also combine these different goals in your life. And never ever forget that your balance is personal. So that's it. If you're still failing, luckily for you, we have one final part of this chapter. I will see you in chapter 6 if you're not succeeding. See you there. Later.